Welcome back to another episode of Metaverse in the News. I'm Ed Haravan. I'm with my co-founder Rob Merrilees from Get Real. Rob, we always like to track big brands and their metaverse activities in our segments, and nothing could have been bigger than the talk in recent weeks about Gucci, the Gucci Garden, and their appearance in Roblox for a 2-week stint at the end of May. I'll start on this one. To me, this one checks all the boxes of what I'm looking for in a newsworthy story. You've got a major brand. You've got looking to be creative from a technological perspective, looking to reach a different audience. You've got an experimentation with personalized wearables that could be purchased. And you've got it on one of the leading, if not the leading, creative user-generated metaverse-defined platforms out there in Roblox. So touches all the bases for stories that show adoption. I want to lead in here to your comments with a quote too. So I'm going to read a quote from Gucci CEO Marco Bizzarri, who said, to paraphrase, more than generating revenue, the Roblox collaboration was a way to tap fresh creative veins and stay apace of an evolving world where fashion, music, films, technology increasingly mash up. Who knows what the industry will look like in 10 years? We want to start before everyone else gets up to speed, Bizzarri said. Certainly, they are not operations that bring in a lot of business now, but they could be a source of business tomorrow. Very forward-thinking comments on the Gucci dive into the metaverse. Curious to get your thoughts. I see you've got that on your background as well.
I'm in the Gucci garden, Ed.
Yeah, that's good.
Gucci's been in the metaverse. I think they had 20 million visitors last year to the Gucci garden. If I'm maybe the 20 millionth and first visitor, but they're not the only fashion house that's experimenting with efforts in the metaverse. Louis Vuitton is there, Dolce & Gabbana is there, Tommy Hilfiger. Meta is actually, I think, just this month has announced that you can start buying fashion items through their avatar store, which can then be used, I think, in Facebook, in the Messenger platform, Instagram, their Instagram platform as well. And I think they indicated that eventually those will make it into virtual reality as well. So lots of folks are going to go after this, after fashion. It's one way, it's not the only way, but it's certainly one way to try to allow for individual expression within the metaverse, within with your avatar. So we've seen this is a continuation of a trend that's several years. Originally avatars looked very space alien. Everybody looked the same. There might be limited ways to customize. Then there was some more cartoon avatars is what allowed for some level of individual expression. Then photorealistic avatars started to make their appearance. And now with Ready Player Me, with these different brands, even Meta's, that's a joint venture. I think Prada, for example, is one of the companies that they're partnering with. So lots of folks are going to go after this space as being a way to try to, no doubt, increase revenue, because maybe they'll sell the fashion that your avatar wears. But really, as I think a way to, I think there's a bigger purpose, which is to try to increase adoption in general. And the more that people feel that they can express themselves in the metaverse, the more likely they will be to visit the metaverse, have social experiences in the metaverse, have business meetings, client meetings, all kinds of engagement in the digital world.
I want to end on three kind of unrelated comments to this topic. Number one, let's consider the power of the Roblox platform. Target demographic 9 to 15-year-olds, millions and millions of users, the ability for a brand like Gucci to get to those people early, and to expose their brand to them in this case, who knows what sort of dividends that's going to pay going forward. So kudos to them for realizing the potential growth opportunity in this market. Secondly, I want to talk about this concept of the NFTs. Um, Certainly NFTs have become under a lot of duress of late, with some of the crashes in the crypto market and the market for NFTs. This certainly is a great example of like brand extension on the NFT side. This is not NFTs to go from $20 to $2 million. This is wearable accessories. This is ways to create a personal brand. I think it's a great use of the technology that kind of lives under the fluff surface of what you might read in the headlines of the paper about some of the exorbitant pricing that's happened in the NFT space and then subsequent drop. So I like when I see practical use cases for NFTs, and ways to monetize a brand or ways to monetize fans, to give somebody something special, much in the same way they do in the real world. So again, like I really look as Gucci as kind of a pioneer here and wish more businesses would be able to see that the NFT is not this big hype driven machine. There's a lot of practical use cases for it to strengthen your brand. The last thing I do is I want to end with a quote around the same topic of just this idea of fashion, and maybe NFTs and personalization. We've talked about these in some previous Metaverse uniforms, Metaverse in the news segments. Uh, Boson Protocol, a technology company out of London. Their founder, Justin Bannon, had a quote that I think is pretty telling of where people I think should be thinking about fashion and accessories in the metaverse. And he says, if we're increasingly are going to exist in these digital spaces, then objects that are scarce, unique, and ownable are going to have value in those spaces. All of these things of social signaling that signal social status in the real world are just, in fact, perhaps more important in the digital world. And I think that's a great summary of where that landscape's going forward. And I look forward to seeing more of these brands jumping in and creating these experiences for people. So.